Hello, and welcome to Getting to Good Enough, a podcast to help you let go of perfectionism so you can do more of what you love. I'm Shannon Wilkinson, a life coach in Portland, Oregon. I'm a recovering perfectionist who's getting better at good enough.
And I'm Janine Adams, a certified professional organizer in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm lucky enough to be naturally good at good enough.
And today we're talking about next steps and getting started. Hey Janine.
Hey Shannon, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I feel the need to warn you that we're having thunderstorms here in St. Louis. So I'm hopeful it won't be loud, but there might hear a slight rumble in the background.
There might be some rumbling.
It's like I have a train in my backyard, but I don't.
No, I actually have a train, so we might hear that too.
Perfect.
I mean, it's not in my backyard, but it's close enough that we hear it on a regular basis.
So we're simpatico here.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Well, today we are talking about next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking about this because even though I'm a long ways away from school, I think about September as being sort of a time for, starting things, to pick up things. Like, summer was sort of, is like a different time, and then it's time to sort of get back to things.
Yeah, absolutely. I do too. And as a business owner, it's like, okay, suddenly we're staring down December 31st, and
right,
and like, okay, summer's over. Time to get really focused on my goals because I have 4 months left to achieve them. And to me, that's a really beneficial exercise to revisit that stuff so that I don't go off the rails, which I laugh because there have been a number of years where at the end of December, when I look back at my goals, I haven't looked at them all year long. I have no recollection of them. So.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you look back at them after having not looked at them and you accomplished them anyway.
No, I wasn't going to say that.
But that's happened. I know that's happened for me. I'm pretty sure it's happened for you.
It does happen occasionally, but more often than not. More than 50% of the time, if I haven't looked at my goals, there's stuff I don't remember ever having wished for.
Yeah. Well, and so, that's a good thing to remember about, any time and when you're thinking about sort of restarting and next steps and sort of making sure you're pointed in the direction you want to go, it's good to think in like smaller chunks and bigger chunks. So, you can think about this as a period, sort of like the academic year, like September to June, or you can think about, September to December. And, for a calendar year, and how do you want to end the year?
Right. And if you live in Australia, September to December is the end of your school year. So it's a whole, not just a calendar year. Yeah. But yeah, I think I was thinking about, in December when I do my goals for the coming year, I've got usually big, lofty goals. And if I'm on my game, I'm breaking them down into smaller goals so that I can get there. But if I haven't addressed the smaller goals, then it can feel overwhelming in September. But I love that I get this deadline to add a little urgency to it and maybe break things down even smaller so that I can actually take a step toward at least achieving part of the goal.
Yeah. And I think it's so easy for, especially if for whatever reason you're kind of coming back to things after a break, whether it's been a vacation or just, sort of a more lackadaisical period because of summer, to feel overwhelmed by the things that you want to be doing or need to be doing or said you were going to do. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a good reminder that when you are sort of assessing how you want to be spending your time, to be breaking them into those smaller chunks and really thinking about like what's the actual next step.
Right. You always say, what's the next smallest thing you can do, right? Is that what you say? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, really tiny step.
Yeah.
That you can actually do.
Right. And I usually include with that the idea that let it be ridiculously easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because, that once you sort of know the direction you want to be pointed in, you just have to take these easy steps and you will get there. But if you try to take too big of a step and it feels overwhelming, then you don't even get started.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it occurs to me that September for parents in the United States is, especially maybe parents who don't work outside the home, and you have all this time that your children might have been taking up if you have young kids. Even the emptiness of that time, or the unstructured nature of that time with the kids in school. So now you have whatever that is, 2 hours, what is that, like 6 hours a day, might feel overwhelming.
Right.
And how to use it, or what to
do.
Yeah.
And so, doing what we always talk about, getting at your why when you're thinking about the things that you could be doing, or, getting back to the things that you need to do, to consider why they're important to you.
Mm-hmm. And that can help you pare down your list right there if you discover there are things on it that really don't serve those things that are important to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it's a good time to be, I don't really like the word ruthless, but, really, I can't think of a better word.
Focus would be a way to think about it, maybe, in a more positive way.
But to really sort of be strict with yourself about like what is really important to you, and paring away the things that are shoulds, and really acknowledging to yourself that those are shoulds and not that important to you.
So don't we have an episode on shoulds, I think.
We do. At least one.
There's one with should in the title. Let go should, or I don't know. Yeah, we can put a link to that. But yes, and I would think the beginning of a school year, again, for those speaking from absolutely no personal experience, but taking stock of what's important to you before the school year starts, or as the school year starts, when there may be lots of volunteer opportunities or requests from your kid's school. Now is a good time to think about what it is that's important to you and to help you evaluate those requests.
Yeah, and it makes me think of the idea of, start as you want to continue, or start as you want to end. And I think it's really easy to, just sort of want to crash a little bit if you are one of those people who's been spending a lot of time with kids and now you have some free time. And definitely take time for self-care. And also, it's useful to start the patterns that you want to have from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
To really sort of create those habits thoughtfully that you want to have throughout, the next period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's a calendar year, the remaining months of the calendar, a school year, 3 months, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice. Today I sent a text to my awesome employee, Beth, at 11 a.m. or something, and said, hey, it was the first day of school, right? And hope it went well, and I had a question for her. And she said, yeah, it went well, and I worked out today for the first time in 3 months. Ouch. And I'm like I was so impressed that she sent her kids off to school on the first day and went to the gym. I think that was really impressive.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I think you're right that this is an opportunity in a way, right? I think I love planning and stuff. So in fact, today, we I didn't know we were going to be talking about this, but I was all about the big brainstorming and big picture stuff today as I sat down at my desk. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then when you do the big picture stuff, then do you break it down into the smaller steps? Sometimes. Or at least the first step?
Sometimes it sort of depends on how big the picture is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's more about creating a vision for further down the road.
Right.
That I there's so many previous steps that I focus on those. But,
yeah. It's not necessarily about that direct action.
Right. Exactly. But yes, when I do that, I try to come out of it with small action steps. And when I don't do that, that's when the big topics stay on my task list. And I know better, right? But I'll still put, X project on my task list.
Right. And it's like, oh, that's too much.
It just stays there. Yeah.
It's sort of like, the putting taxes on your to-do list. It's like, oh, I don't have time to do that. But if you, just put the individual small steps, like, gather your receipts or gather your bank statements or gather your pay stubs or, whatever it is, then you can get it together in no time at all.
Exactly. And you can do it over time and just check off one little step at a time without feeling overwhelmed. It's exactly like that.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that it's a good reminder that that taking the time to write those little things down, I think it's really helpful to put it in writing, whether it's in a typed or on a piece of paper, and then check it off and make your way through it. And over and over again, I find myself not doing that for quite a while. Like I come up with the project, and then it sits there until I do that. So why don't I do it sooner? I don't know.
Well, let's give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe you just need to think about it, let it roll around in your brain for a while.
Yeah, that's let it marinate there. I think that maybe that's it. Yeah. And I think that perfectionism plays into this, right?
Yes. Yes.
I'll let you take off on that.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I was just going to say the same thing, that it's easy to sort of do the opposite and make all these big plans about all the things you're going to do and not make it granular enough, sort of not break it down enough that you can actually get started. And then the other part where, not the other, but another part where perfectionism can really wreak havoc is you have this goal that you want to achieve, and you're not sure you can do it the way you think it needs to be done, and so you don't get started.
Right.
And so that's when it's super useful to track progress and track actions, as opposed to trying to sort of gauge how you're doing based on what you're expecting for the end project.
Mm-hmm. Right, like not feeling any sense of accomplishment until it's all done, or right, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm thinking with a writing project, it's really easy to put off a writing project because you're not sure you can put down what's in your head into writing. You can't capture it the way you want to in writing. If it's a book or whatever, it's the book is perfect in your mind, and then once you start writing it doesn't meet that standard. And so if you give yourself some way to measure progress without sort of measuring quality, let's say, if for this writing example, you're going to sit down and, we do for NaNoWriMo, and you're going to write 2,000 words a day. Then that way you can feel satisfied and you're making progress toward this end goal without having sort of the debilitating feeling of perfectionism that you're not getting it right.
And perhaps you, like, in the same example, you very mindfully give yourself permission to write less than perfectly. I'm thinking of Anne Lamott's Bird by Bird, right? And,
yes.
That book. And and I'll just keep it a little cleaner and say, sucky for stress.
Yes.
That helps me. Oh, of course, with NaNoWriMo, I'm National Novel Writing Month. I'm not trying to write anything I can publish. But with books, I mean, I've written books that have been published, and I definitely employ that mentality. It's the only way to get started. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah, and not to get too far down the writing rabbit hole, but I was having a conversation with a client recently and suggested that they make appointments at different times for different parts of the project.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
That they sort of make an appointment with themselves for writing and they make an appointment with themselves for editing, but that they keep those things very separate. Because they're very different skills and they impact the other. If you're editing while you're writing, it's not helpful to your writing.
Yes, especially if you struggle with perfectionism, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
This is making me think about, it maybe sounds like a leap, but really I went there logically, your procrastination quiz on your website, because I was thinking about how getting started is, different people are held back by different things.
Right.
So if your fear of failure, I don't know if that's one of them, but if you're afraid you're not going to do it right, certainly perfectionism will make it paralyze you from getting started on something.
Yes.
But am I thinking correctly that if somebody were to take your quiz about what their productivity barrier is, that's not quite the right word, but I can't come up with that. Block. I just shared it with the URL with a client the other day because it came up in conversation. I think that is such a helpful thing.
Yeah, and so and what it does is it breaks down, or that it sort of helps you figure out through the quiz, the one of 4 ways in which you're likely to be procrastinating, and then you get some exercises, some guidance on how to work through that particular productivity block.
Right, it's really helpful.
Whatever it may be for you. Yeah.
Yeah. It was revelatory for me. So I'll make sure we have a link to that in the show notes. It's free and helpful.
Yeah, and it's funny because, I think yours is yours reward?
Enjoyment,
yeah. And every time there's something that you're stuck on, if we're like, how do you make this more fun? Then it's like changes everything for you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just a party gal, Shannon.
I knew there was a reason we get along.
Because you're a party girl, too.
Yeah. I feel like we need to explain that.
Go for it.
One of the first times I met Janine's father, we were having lunch, and I'd been there for like days. Yeah, and we'd been having conversations. We'd spent a lot of time together. We'd eaten meals together, and this is like the day before we're leaving, and it came up that my previous career of investor relations, that one of my clients was local in Walla Walla, was Banner Bank, and he was asking a little bit about that, and he just seemed sort of dumbfounded, and he said, "So you're not just a party girl."
And we had not been doing any partying. Oh, nice snort, Shannon.
Oh my God, it just makes me laugh so hard.
It's so funny.
Yeah, you were appalled.
Of course.
I thought it was hilarious. It was like, wait, this entire time you thought I wasn't smart? What's going on?
Right. Oh my God. It's just horrifying.
But yeah, so not just a party girl.
Right. Right. And but I am a party girl when it comes to needing to have some fun in order to get started with a task.
Yes. Yes, totally. And, I think sometimes too, particularly if you lean towards perfectionism, it's easy to feel like you shouldn't need these, these aids or this guidance or this, I think like if you're really sort of dug down into perfectionism, that it might even feel like a crutch to use some process or use something to help you get things done, when absolutely the opposite is true. Mm-hmm. Use everything you can to make it easier for you to do the things you want to do and the things you need to do.
Right. Yeah, that kind of thinking always amazes me. It's because, of course, I always want things to be easy and fun.
Right. Well, I think easy is fun for you.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it for everybody?
There are people who think if it's easy, it doesn't count.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not that person.
Yeah. Yeah. But because I've found myself in that place too. And it's usually I sort of catch myself where I think like, oh, I shouldn't have to do X, Y, Z. I should just be able to do this or whatever. And the older I get, the more I'm like, whatever. I'm going to use everything I can.
That's the beauty of getting older, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is just some things to think about as we're going into this next phase of the year and when you're considering what your next steps are and how you want to get started.
Yeah, I hope that's a little bit helpful for folks. That makes me sort of want to look at my goals.
I know, it makes me too.
Yeah.
But we would love to hear from you. What are your next steps and how are you entering this next period? You can let us know at 413-424-GTGE. That's 4843. You can head over to gettingtogoodenough.com and leave a comment in the show notes, or you can hit us up on social media. On Facebook and Instagram, we're at Getting to Good Enough, and on Twitter, we're at GTG Enough. Until next time, this is Shannon Wilkinson in Portland, Oregon.
And Janine Adams in St. Louis, Missouri.
And we hope that good enough is getting easier for you. This totally got me all fired up to go look at my goals and make some new ones.
Excellent. Mission accomplished then. At least one person has been deeply affected by this.
It's all we can ask for.